Hi, I'm Mark Cunningham with Grace Management and Real Estate. One question every real estate investor owner needs to ask themselves is, should I consider or allow pets on my rental property? So let me give you 5 considerations as you're thinking through this process, because the answer is maybe. Number 1 consideration, keep this in mind. About 60% of all tenants come with pets. That means if you say no pets across the board, you're cutting your potential market more than in half. Out of 100 people, 60 of those are going to have pets. Out of 100 renters, 60 will have pets. So if you say I'm not going to take that percent, you're only now appealing to 40% of your potential market that way. And that may be okay, but maybe not. Consider that. If you're a pet lover, you understand this. You understand that you're not going to go anywhere without your pet. If you're not a pet person, this doesn't make sense to you. I'm not a big dog guy until we got a dog for my kids a few months ago. Now I can't imagine our family moving somewhere without our little family dog. So that suddenly has moved us from one category to the other because the kids wanted the dog. So now I get that, but you need to keep that in mind. Number 2, if you are going to consider pets, what kind of pet do I want to look for? What you're looking for is the small to medium-sized dog. That's those types of pets, those small to medium-sized dogs, typically we've found over the years, don't do damage to properties. They don't cause problems. They're not bad types of pets to have. Do you want to take cats? Our recommendation is no. Now, if you're a cat lover, I'm sorry, I know it just offended you, but here's what we find. Cats can do damage to carpet and to properties that dogs frankly can't do if they try. Cats just have that ability. So if you're a cat lover, great, bring your cats in, welcome cats into your property. If you do accept cats, keep in mind, you've expanded the pool of potential applicants who will be interested in your property. So you've widened that pool, but you want to look for that small, our recommendation, look for that small dog that's not going to do much damage. Number 3, what kind of pet restrictions do you have? You want to have breed restrictions. You don't want to allow every type of breed. Not only that, but your insurance company for your property probably has breed restrictions in place. You want to make sure that the breeds you're restricting line up with what your insurance company will not cover. So have breed restrictions. Number 2, have size restrictions. You don't want the big giant dogs. They do a lot of damage. And number 3, you want numbers restrictions. You don't want to welcome in multiple dogs. You're looking for the 1 to 2 small pets. They're going to come in with that tenant. Number 4, should you have a pet addendum? Yes, absolutely. And that pet addendum should cover and outline the responsibilities of the tenant in order for them to have the pet. It should be very, very clear in that pet addendum what they're going to be responsible for on the pet. Number 5, should you charge a pet deposit? Yeah, you should. Now, how high can it be? Again, it depends. It depends on the property, depends on the pet. But you should be able to generate a little bit of an additional security deposit to offset that pet. By the way, don't call it a pet deposit. If you call it a pet deposit, you're only able to retain it for damage the pet did. So if the tenant leaves and they owe money in back rent, but their pet didn't do any damage, you can't retain that pet deposit for rent owed. So make sure you just increase the amount of the overall security deposit. So the benefits of allowing pets are pretty straightforward. Your property is going to rent faster and it's going to be easier to rent because you're appealing to a wider base of people. We've also found that tenants with pets typically stay longer because it's more difficult for them to rent a property. So once they get into that property with their pet, they're less likely to move because they found a home, they found a welcoming place for their pet. And lastly, you'll probably get a little bit higher rent because of the fact that you do allow a pet in your property. So these are the considerations you want to take into account as you're having a pet. And the last thought is this: if you've got a property that maybe you're considering replacing carpet on, you're not quite sure, it can probably be okay for a while, take that into consideration as well. If you've got brand new white carpet, maybe you don't want to allow a pet. Hope that was helpful for you today.